Hi friends, this is Ramakrishna. In this video class, I am going to discuss data sufficiency problems. In TC ICET, they will ask 20 questions from the data sufficiency in section A, analytical ability. So, how to answer these data sufficiency questions? They will give one question followed by two statements, statement 1 and statement 2. And they will give directions. So what are these directions? Let us take the first statement. If the statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question, but second statement cannot give the answer, then you have to mark answer as a choice 1. So what is the meaning of this statement means? Suppose if you are answering the question from the first statement alone, but not second statement, then you have to mark answer as a choice 1. Now look at the second one. If the statement 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question, but first statement cannot give the answer, then your answer as a choice 2. That means suppose we are not able to find the answer from the first statement alone and we are getting the answer from the second statement alone, then we have to mark answer as a choice 2. So everybody understood, friends? For example, suppose if you are getting the answer from the statement 1 alone, then answer is a choice 1. Suppose you are not getting the answer from the first statement alone, then you are getting the answer from the second statement alone, then you have to mark answer as a choice 2. Suppose sometimes we are not getting the answer from the first statement as well as we are not getting the answer from the second statement. Then what we have to do? We have to combine first statement as well as second statement. When you are combining the first statement and second statement, then you are getting the answer, then you have to mark answer as a choice 3. So choice 3 is if you are not getting the answer from the first statement as well as you are not getting the answer from the second statement alone, when you are combining first and second statement, if you are getting answer as a third option. And suppose we are not getting the answer from the first statement alone and also you are not getting the answer from the second statement alone, and when you are combining the first statement as well as second statement also you are not getting the answer, then you have to mark answer as a choice 4. So everybody understood, friends? So here how to answer? Choice 1, statement alone is sufficient. Statement 2 cannot get the answer. Answer is a choice 2 if you are getting the answer from the second statement alone but not first statement, then your answer is a choice 2. Suppose you are not getting the answer from the first statement as well as we are not getting the answer from second statement, then answer is a choice 3 if you are combining. Choice 4 is if you combined also if you are not getting the answer, then answer is a choice 4. So if you understand these directions, then you can answer all the 20 questions. But here these 20 questions we have to answer maximum 15 minutes. We should not spend more than 15 minutes because it is a time killing section. So once you are trying to solve these 20 questions will take 30 to 40 minutes, then your time will be over. So always try to answer the 20 questions in 15 minutes. That is the first point. And second point, don't try to solve the entire problem. Just look at whether we can find the answer or not. If you are by statements, you can think yes, we can get the answer from the second statement or first statement. Then keep answer directly. Don't solve it. That is the second point. Third point, sometimes the questions are very difficult. Then try to solve the problem because sometimes you will get two cases. By the time we have to decide which one is the answer. So if the problem is difficult, then only try to solve it. Okay friends, now look at some problems. Now look at the first one. So the first question is, what is the area of the circle? So what is the area of the circle means? Always remember that when you want to solve the data sufficiency questions, you should be very good in arithmetic as well as you are very good in mathematics basics and also you are very good in reasoning basics. Then only we can answer 20 out of 20, maximum 15 questions we can answer. Now look at the first question. What is the area of a circle? So we have to draw the circle. So we have to find out what is the area of the circle. According to our basics, The radius of a circle is denoted by small r. Therefore, area of a circle is equal to pi r square. So when we can find this answer, area of a circle, whenever we know the radius of a circle. If you know the radius of the circle, then you can find the area of the circle. Right, student? Now look at the first statement. What is the first statement? The perimeter of the circle is 54 pi centimeters. So according to first statement, the perimeter of the circle, they will not give the formulas. We have to remember the formulas. So we know that perimeter of the circle is equal to 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is equal to 54 pi. Now how to answer? So if you are very good in calculations, then you can think that pi get cancelled and 2 will goes to 54 27 times. You will get a r value directly. So once you are getting the r value directly, we can find the area of a circle. So directly without any calculations, we can keep the answer as a choice one for this question. So no need to solve it. But if you want to solve, we can solve it. But I am suggesting don't solve data sufficiency problems if it is easy. Find the digits in the units place of the natural number n, where 62 is less than or equal to n is less than or equal to 83. So here they gave the condition n is lies between 62 to 83. That means what are the numbers n will come? N starts from less than or equal is there. So 62 is included and 83 also included. So from 62, 63, 64, so on, 80, 81 and 82, 83, we have to decide what is the value of n. So whenever they are asking find the digits in the units place means we have to decide only a particular answer. We should not give the two different answers. Right, students? Now look at the first statement. N is a multiple of 12. So n is a multiple of 12 means we have to remember 12 table. So 12 5s are how much will come? 60. 12 6s are 72 and 12 7s are 84. So according to first statement, n is a multiple of 12 means we can get the some values like 60, 72, 84. 60 will not come in this region, so we can eliminate the 60, and 84 will not come in this region, so we can eliminate the 84. So according to first statement, n is a multiple of 12 means we can get only one number, that is 72. Now in this 72 we have to decide what is the units place digit. So according to first statement, the units place digit is a 2. So according to first statement we can find the answer. So answer for this question is choice 1, friends. Now look at the next question. What is the sum of the marks obtained by physics and chemistry by Ram? So they are asking how many marks he got in physics and chemistry together. So they are asking what is the sum of the marks in physics and chemistry. Okay, now friends. So how to decide this answer? So when we know the how many marks he got in physics and how many marks he got in chemistry, then we can find the answer. Or otherwise, if we have any relation between the physics and chemistry total marks, by the time also we can decide the answer. So first case, we can decide the answer when we know how many physics marks are there, how many chemistry marks are there. In this case, you can find the answer. Or other case, when we can find when we know the relation between sum of the marks of physics and chemistry, by the time also we can decide the answer. So always before solving the question, we have to put an answer. In how many ways we can answer this question. Right, friends? Now look at the first statement. Ram got 8 marks more than physics than in chemistry. So he is telling that Ram got 8 marks more in physics than in chemistry means according to first statement he got more marks in physics than chemistry. That means how many marks he got more marks than chemistry means 8 marks more than. So according to first statement, this is the relation. The number of marks in physics is equal to 8 marks more than the number of marks in chemistry. But according to this statement, we cannot find how many marks in physics and how many marks in chemistry. So that's why first statement is not sufficient. So we cannot find the answer from the first statement, friends. Now look at the second statement. What is the second statement? Ram got 72 marks average in physics and chemistry. So here we are getting a concept of average. So already we know average is equal to sum of the observations divided by number of observations. We should know this formula before solving this question, right? So here they gave, he got a 72 marks in physics and chemistry. So sum of the marks means number of marks in physics and number of marks in chemistry divided by how many subjects are there. There are only 2 subjects, so we can write 2. So from this we can say directly P plus C is equal to 72 into 2, which is equal to 144. So that means according to second statement we can say the total number of marks in physics and chemistry is equal to 144. So according to second statement we can answer this question. So answer for this question is second choice. Now look at the next question. What is the cost of erecting a fence around a rectangular field? So there is a rectangular field. So we have to make a fencing around this rectangular field. So whenever they say around a rectangular field or around a circular field or around a square field means we should find the perimeter. So perimeter of a rectangle is equal to 2 into length plus breadth. That means this is the length and this is the breadth. So now they are asking what is the total cost they are asking. So when we can find the total cost, we have very important formula. The total cost is equal to perimeter of the garden, rectangular garden, into cost per unit. So if you know this formula, then only we can find the answer, right? That means what is the perimeter? 2 into L plus P. So we should know the length, we should know the breadth, and we should know the cost per unit. Then only we can answer this question. So this is information we should know before entering into the statements. Now look at the first statement. What is the first statement? The cost of fencing is 150 rupees per meter. So according to first statement, they gave cost per unit they gave, that is 150 meters. But according to first statement, we cannot find the answer. Why? Because we don't know the length value and we don't know the breadth value. So once we don't know the length and breadth, by using only cost per unit, you cannot find the total cost, because the total cost is perimeter into cost per unit. So first statement is not sufficient. We can rule out. Now look at the second statement. The area of the field is 20,000 square meters. We know that area of a rectangle is length into breadth. So length into breadth is equal to 20,000 they give. But according to second statement also we cannot find, because only they gave L into P is equal to 20,000 means from the second statement alone we don't know exactly what is the length value and what is the breadth value, because they will get a multiple values. For example, I will give it 2 values. I can say length is equal to 200 and breadth is equal to 100. In this case, if you substitute here, you will get a 1 perimeter. But if I take length is equal to 500 and breadth is equal to 440. So in this case also, you will get a different values. So when we don't know the length value and breadth value exactly, we cannot decide the exactly total cost. So in this case, we cannot find the answer from the first statement as well as second statement. So guys, we can keep the answer as a fourth option, because we cannot find the answer from first statement as well as second statement. Now look at the next question. What is the simple interest earned by the depositor in a fixed deposit? So if you want to answer this question, what are the information we required? So we know that simple interest. So simple interest is equal to PTR by 100. So here P stands for principal, T stands for time period, R stands for rate of interest. So how much principal he invested and how many years he has invested and what is the rate of interest for the principal. So if you know these three values, then we can answer this question. Clear guys? Now we go to the first statement. What is the first statement? Here the first statement is the deposit is kept for 1 year. The deposit is kept for 1 year means according to first statement we got time period is a 1 year. So once you got time period is a 1 year, so we don't know what is the exactly principal and what is the exactly rate of interest. So according to first statement we cannot decide because we know only time value. Now look at the second statement. What is the second statement? The total amount deposited is 10,000 rupees. So amount is equal to principal is equal to 10,000 rupees. So according to second statement we know only principal, but we don't know what is the time period and what is the rate of interest. So second statement alone also we cannot decide, right? Because from the first statement we don't know what is the principal, we don't know what is the rate of interest. So we cannot find the answer from first statement. And from the second statement alone we don't know what is the time period value and we don't know what is the rate of interest value. So second statement also we cannot find. But when you are combining both the statements, so when you are combining both the statements, we got the P value, we got the time value, but we don't know what is the rate of interest. So that's why we cannot find the answer from this statement. So guys, we can give the answer as a fourth option for the question. Right friends? Now come to the next question. Are the roots of the equation 4ax square plus 5bx plus 6 is a real numbers? So if you want to answer this question, we should have a strong knowledge in the quadratic equation. So we have the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? So when a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 as a real numbers, the discriminant is nothing but b square minus 4ac should be greater than or equal to 0, right guys? So once you have a good strong command in the subject knowledge, then you can answer data sufficiency easily. So in this case we have to decide that discriminant must be greater than or equal to 0. Let us take the equation 4ax square plus 5bx plus 6c is equal to 0. In this case a value is equal to 4a and b value is equal to 5b and c value is equal to 6c, right? So we have to prove that b square minus 4ac is greater than or equal to 0. So b square is nothing but 5b whole square minus 4 into a is equal to 4a and c is equal to 6c. So from this we can get 25b square minus 4 4s are 16, 16 6 are 96. So 96 AC. This entire value should be greater than or equal to 0. Then only we can say the quadratic equation 4ax square plus 5bx plus 6c as a real roots. Now when we can decide this answer, we should know exactly b value and exactly c value, exactly a value. Or if you know any relation between b, a, c, then also we can decide. Now let us go to the first statement. What is the first statement? A is to b is to c is equal to 2 is to 3 is to 4. So according to this one, whenever they will give ratio of two numbers or ratio of three numbers or ratio of any numbers in the ratio format, we should not take it exactly a is equal to b is equal to 3 and c is equal to 4, because ratio means it's a comparison, it's not exactly values. So whenever they will give ratio, we should assume the exactly values are A is equal to 2k and B is equal to 3k. We can assume with any constant. B is equal to 3k and C is equal to 4k. So k may be any number 1, 2, 3, 4 or k may be any fraction. So we have to find the k value. Alright. Now put A, B, C values in this equation. So 25 into A is equal to B is equal to 3k whole square minus 96. A is equal to how much? 2k and C is equal to how much? 4k. So we have to show that this entire value must be greater than or equal to 0. But if you see that this is the 25 into 3k whole square is nothing but 9k square minus 96 into 2 4s are 8k square. So we have to prove that whether it's greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 0. Now if you multiply 9 5s are 45, 4 and 9 2s are 18, 18 plus 4 is equal to 22. So this is the 225k square minus 8 6 are 48, 4, 8 9s are 72, 72 plus 4 is equal to 76k square. So obviously this value will be a negative because this is the 768k square. This is the 225. So 768 minus 225 which is equal to 3 and 4 and 5. So this is the minus 543k square. Whatever value of k, whether it is a negative or positive, or the k square value is always positive. Positive to negative, negative. That means entirely b square minus 4ac is a less than 0. So when it is a less than 0, the quadratic equation does not have a real roots. It is a imaginary roots or complex numbers. So according to first statement, we can decide the answer. Right? So answer for this question is first option. So I'll suggest if you have a same question in examination, if you are very good at pure maths, then try to attempt this question. Otherwise, you can keep any one of the answer and you can skip it. Don't waste for your valuable time for solving this much lengthy question. Right, friends? Now come to the next question. What is the volume of the right circular cone? So this is the mensuration based question. We should have a good command on the formulas. So this is the right circular cone and this is called radius. This is called slant height. It is denoted by L. This is called vertical height, that is H. So the volume of the circular cone is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square H. So when we can decide this volume of the cone means we should know the radius exactly and we should know the height exactly. Then only we can decide this answer. Come to the first statement. Semi-vertical angle of the cone is equal to 30 degrees. So according to first statement, they gave an angle. This angle is equal to 30 degrees they gave. According to this angle, we cannot decide the answer because we don't know the radius, we don't know the height. So according to first statement, we cannot decide the answer. Theta is equal to 30 degrees is not sufficient to find R value and H value. So we can rule out the first statement. Now coming to the second statement. The slant height of the cone is 17 centimeters. So slant height means L is equal to 17 centimeters they gave. So according to second statement also we cannot decide. Why? Because we don't know the radius and we don't know the height also. So first statement is not sufficient and second statement also not sufficient. So we cannot decide the answer. Now if you combine both, whether we can decide the answer or not. For solving this question we should have a command on trigonometry, right? So if you take this right circular cone separately, this is the right angle. So they gave the slant height. So slant height means here exactly 90 degrees will be there and they gave the slant height is equal to 17 centimeters and this angle is equal to 30 degrees they gave. So according to this one, if you apply the trigonometry basics, like in a right angle triangle, if you want to find out sine theta. So sine theta is nothing but how much will come? Sine 30 is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. That means h by 17. So from this sine 30 is equal to, we know 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2 is equal to h by 17. From this h is equal to 17 by 1 by root 2. Now 1 by 2 is that sine 30 value. Similarly, if you apply the cos 30 is equal to adjacent, that is a radius by 17. So according to this one, we should know the cos 30 value. So cos 30 is equal to root 3 by 2. So root 3 by 2 is equal to r by 17. From this we can find the r value. So according to this, we know the radius, we know the h, we can find the answer. For this, answer is equal to third option, friends. Alright, so this is purely based on the trigonometry based question. Now come to the next question. Find the average of 10 numbers written in ascending order. See, whenever written in ascending or descending order, so the average means always we should know average is equal to sum of the observations by number of observations. So we should know the sum of the 10 numbers, then we can decide the answer. Right, friends? Now look at the first statement. What is the first statement? The average of first 4 numbers and last 4 numbers is 20. So clearly we can say here we don't know the sum of all the 10 numbers. Only we know the sum of the first 4 numbers, means we know a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus a4. This is the sum of 4 numbers plus last 4 numbers. Last 4 numbers means we can write a7, a8, a9 and a10. So the average they give, average of these 8 numbers they give. So the average of 8 numbers is equal to how much they give? 20. Therefore sum of 8 numbers is equal to how much will it come? 160. But according to first statement we cannot decide because we don't know the a5 and a6. So fifth term and sixth term we don't know. So we cannot decide the answer from the first statement. Now look at the second statement. What is the second statement? The sum of middle 2 numbers. The sum of middle 2 numbers means a5 and a6 they give, which is equal to how much? 15. So according to second statement also we cannot decide because we don't know the sum of the remaining 8 numbers. So first statement alone we cannot decide and second statement alone we cannot decide. But when you are combining first statement and second statement, then we can decide the answer. So answer for this question is third option. But in this case, don't find the average value. Average is nothing but sum of the 8 numbers is equal to 160 and sum of the other 2 numbers is equal to 15 divided by 10, 175 by 10, which is equal to 17.5. This calculation doesn't required while you are solving the data sufficiency problems. Guys, remember that. So no need to solve the entire problem, just you have to look at whether we can find the answer or not. Now look at the next question. What is the mode of the frequency distribution? So guys, from the statistics you will get 7 questions. From the 7 questions there is one question related to mode and another question related to mode distribution. So we have to have an idea related to mean, median, mode. So here what is the mode of the distribution they are asking. So when we can find the mode, which number is repeating more number of times, that is called a mode, right? Here they gave the total number of observations they gave. According to first statement, there are 100 observations. But out of 100 observations, which observation is repeating more number of times, we cannot say exactly from the first statement. So here we don't know which observation is repeating more times. So first statement is not sufficient. Now look at the second statement. What is the second statement? Median of the distribution they gave. So median they gave, but median is there is no use to find out a mode. But if you know the mean also, then we can find the answer. So according to this statement, we cannot decide the answer. Right, friends? So we cannot find the answer from this statement. So answer is a fourth option. Now look at the next question. What is the number of persons between two persons A and B in a row of 29 persons? So they are asking what is the number of persons between two people in a row of 29 persons. So there are 29 persons are there, entire row. Between A and B, how many people are there? They are asking. Total 29 people. Between A and B, how many people are there? So we don't know exactly what is the A position and what is the B position. So we should know A position, we should know B position, then how many people are there between A and B, we can decide the answer. Now look at the first statement. What is the first statement? A is 24th person from the beginning. A is the 24th person from the beginning means there are totally 29 persons are there from first to last. A is the 24th person from the beginning. A is the 24th person from the beginning means let us take A as a 24th person from the beginning. If A is a 24th person from the beginning means here above A, below A, there will be a 5 persons will be there. Before A, there are the 23 persons are there. But according to first statement, we don't know how many people are there between A and B, and we don't know what is the B position. So according to first statement, we cannot decide the answer. Now look at the second statement. What is the second statement? B is the 19th person from the end. So according to second statement, B is the 19th person from the end means this is, let us take a end. From end, B is, let us take a 19th person. So according to this statement, we can say that how many people are there before B and how many people are there after B. But according to this statement, we cannot say what is the exactly position of A. So first statement alone is not sufficient. Second statement alone also not sufficient. But if you combine both, A is a 24th position from this one and B is a 19th person from this end. So according to we know the B position and A position exactly, then we can say how many people are there between A and B. But don't calculate how many people are there. Right friends? So here the answer is a choice 3. By combining we can decide the answer. That means third option is the answer friends. So we will discuss some more problems from different topics in the next video class. Thank you friends.